I know I've been butchering this story, but all in all, as the story continues, I eventually met with Sean and Marvin, the heads, obviously, or one of the heads of the program. Sean, obviously, being one of the heads of the program, and Marvin as well, within the TC and J space. So, come to find out, they found out my position in the program has been jeopardized, and there has to be further conversation about where I stand in terms of the morals and or the mission of the program, or where I stand as it relates to upholding the mission of the program. Because obviously this did not do that. Even though I thought it was a funny gesture, it definitely was not. Thinking back at it, right? As a 17-year-old, my frontal lobe wasn't fully developed, and I was already starting to exhibit signs of self-sabotage at that age. So it really just didn't coincide with me. And after that, I had called my adopted parent, was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on, and I cried. And I still had to finish an essay that was due, so I had to go do that. Listening to a lot of Sin City and Somo at that time. So after that, the program had ended. I obviously did not get the stipend. And I just want to preface this by saying, when you apply to be a part of Cooperman, there are so many other gifts and or benefits than just getting your college tuition, part of your college tuition paid for every year, right? You get a MacBook. At that time, it was a MacBook, the newest MacBook, I believe, 17, if I'm not mistaken. You also get a $450 stipend at that time. I had lost the stipend, obviously, because of my behavior. But nonetheless, after the program had officially concluded and I had met back with them in the middle of August, right, to talk about my behavior, there was a stillness in the air because I had met with Miss Morgan at the time. And Miss Morgan just definitely doubled down on the disappointment era. And I really hate disappointing people, especially at that time, because I was really known to be this goody two-shoes at home and following the rules, because I had grown up with a lot of my family members around me in closed spaces, so just essentially being watched. I went to ALA. My mother worked at ALA. I avoided going to North Tech because my uncle had worked at North Tech at the time, and eventually went to North Tech because I had to, and my uncle was there. So being watched at that time was very, very prominent. So I wasn't watched during this time, so it felt really good. But nonetheless, eventually we came to a conclusion and an arrangement where I would have to do, I think, like 160 hours worth of community service, which was all my uncle was doing at the time. Shout out to Wahoo. He's not my uncle because I'm adopted, but he really came in clutch, and he's a Taurus, so he made sure I got those hours in. But that summer was very explorative and transformative for me, because even after my position was threatened, like, I had to still figure out a way to, like, go to college because I knew I couldn't afford it. I was just going to go take out loans and just go to Rutgers. I'm so serious. But everything ended up working out. I ended up, working under Miss Morgan, who was my college coach, and I was like, damn, God, I wanted to draw so bad. I wanted to draw so bad. But I got Miss Morgan, and she really helped me. She encouraged me to apply to PWIs, one of them being Muhlenberg, and I got into Muhlenberg. I did ED in February, never forget it, and I went there, and I soared. I did really well at Muhlenberg. But again, that whole essence, and just looking back on it, right, that whole program, that whole time in the program, time during the summer of 2017, like, I didn't think I ever told anybody this. Only very few people knew about this, right? And now I can talk about it, given that I graduated college. I only have $8,000 worth of debt in college, or from college. And it was such an eye-opening experience, because you don't understand, I didn't understand what was so bad about it, right? But now, understanding it now, like, how much words matter, and bullying and trying to talk down on people in a communal space, especially when you're representing a program and or a person, is very big. And you should never just do that. Never disrespect or bite the hand that is feeding you, essentially. But when you're upholding a company's mission and they're taking a chance on you to come onto these campuses, like, there's always that one person that does that. And I didn't want to be that person, but I ended up being that person. So, damn. It was sad. Everything worked out. I did get kicked out of the program. You know who actually got kicked out of the program? Kai. Because Kai actually wrote a review of the program negatively, and they saw the review, and, like, I think he took it down, but then he also had a meeting, right, which also could be seen as self-sabotage. Maybe he just didn't want to be in the program. I don't know. But I needed that program so bad because I needed help, okay? But I don't know why he put that up there. I don't know. I don't know why he did that. I wish I would have known. Because he was such a smart, he is probably still a smart person. But why he would post that, I have no clue. No clue whatsoever. But yeah, thank you for listening to my story time. Please be back for more. I know that was long-winded. I'm going to stop doing these in parts because unless I have to. But yeah. Have a great day.